Why, hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It is me, Mary, and I'm here tonight with a special interview. While you guys may notice the beautiful young lady on my screen, you guys do not know who is sitting next to her. So tonight, I am introducing Lindsay and her new fiance, Chad. Hey, Chad, how
How you
are
doing? Y'all doing
you?
all right tonight?
So nice to meet you.
Nice
Now,
to be on here.
I have to say, for myself personally, and the Love After Lockup fans, this whole engagement was like a huge surprise. But the ring is beautiful. You did great on the ring.
Thank you.
And put it up to the camera, Lindsay. You got to put it all the. There we go. Beautiful. So now my first question is, how did you guys meet?
Well, actually, my best friend Stephanie, she's actually on the show a few times.
Well,
She had told me I needed to go out with Chad, and she kind of set us up a little bit. She was telling me I needed to. She's like, you need to talk to Chad, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? Ask him out? Like I'm like what? Message him on Facebook? So I went to message him on Facebook, and we had actually already spoke. Like,
Talked about a car that she was looking interested in on my car dealership. I was very extremely tired coming back from Arkansas because I leave at 4:30 in the mornings to go buy trucks and drive from Mississippi to Little Rock. And she messaged me, and I was a little iffy about it. And then I said, might as well to try this. And met her, and we had dinner, good dinner, and it kind of took off from there.
that is so cute. So, what attracted you the most to Lindsay? Like, what is it about her that drew you in?
She's always in a good mood. She's always got a smile, and like nothing phases her.
That is true. So, Lindsay, what attracted you to him?
so he's very down to earth, and he has. It's funny because he has a. I tease him about. He has a corny sense of humor, but I actually do too. So I stay laughing. It's so easy to be in a good mood because it's just like always a good time.
Because he put you there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do you guys have in common? What do you like to do when you're together?
So it's actually funny. Because I actually had this comment on TikTok. Like, was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, somebody had said, um, leave the country boys alone for the real country girls. But people
I
don't know.
saw
Actually, I grew up on a chicken farm. I grew up riding horses since I could
you
whistle.
are country. I know. I saw that comment too and said, "What the hell? She is country."
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been riding a lot. That's been it's awesome. Is I was away from horses for a long time, and now that he really can't get me off of them. I think I'm gonna make him tired of horses by the end of it,
I
and we
don't
live on a
think
horse
so.
ranch.
I've been riding horses my whole life, and it's just a way of life for us. Here.
Right.
And, of course, I own a mechanical bull business. We run it on the weekend. Lindsay's been running, helping me run it, helping me set it up. And I judge horse shows all over the country. They fly me different places, and about every weekend, I donate my time to the horse show community.
Right. That is so cool. That is so cool. So, what are you distracted by back there?
Are y'all look at this, honey?
Yeah. Ah,
Oh my
All
god.
I see is a hand. Take the sandwich stuff with you. Take it with you.
Okay, so what are the living arrangements for you guys? What's going on? Because this engagement just like happened out of the blue for me at least.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna end up renting my house because he has the ranch, so he has a little bit more space.
Right.
And so I'll end up, which is sad because I just finished my bathroom renovation and it's so pretty.
I was just about to say this girl was just renovating her house a couple of months ago.
Well, I've been renovating it for the better part of the
Yeah, I
last
know.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Funny as I say, I'm like, look at all this I've done, and I'm about to leave it. I'm like, but I already have it'll be my second rental house, so that's good for me to have something there.
Exactly. Exactly. So what was Miley's reaction, Linz?
Molly actually loves him, and it's funny because pretty quickly she made it very known that she was happy with Chad and that she wasn't really.
Molly's like a blessing. She's like a bonus daughter. I mean, she's fit real right on in the farm, and she's I have 3 adopted kids. She's fit right in with Boston that lives with me full time, and I mean, it's just like, hey, she's one of the family. It hadn't even skipped a beat.
She's learning to ride horses.
Oh my goodness.
But she didn't grow up on horses like me. So she's had to learn from like the bottom up, which is fine because he's taught like millions of kids to ride horses. So
Right, exactly. Yes, it's better than to teach her.
Yeah, that's been one of my passions. I never set out to be a car dealer. I actually built this farm to give horse riding lessons and to underprivileged kids, with a similar background that I came up with.
Right.
he says it all the time. He said, I didn't grow up to be a car dealer. Nobody says I get a car and I want to sell cars when I grow up.
Hey, but being a car dealer is not bad either when it comes to having an income.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, not too bad. So, did you ever see Lindsey on her show?
Never, not one time. I saw her at a gas station in Walnut, Mississippi, and thought she was very pretty.
Linz, he never saw you not one time on TV.
No, after we started dating on TikTok, I started coming up on his clips.
Okay.
And one of the very first clips he called me and he said, I just was flipping through TikTok and there's a video of you scratching this man's desk, which is my most well-known scene. If anybody knows it.
Yes.
Sweetheart, that won't work for me. I come to my office, you scratch the desk. That's not going to work. Everywhere. I feel sorry for that fella.
That was her crazy season. That was Lindsey's crazy season. I mean, yeah.
I'm glad I got her in this point of life.
Yes. You got the calm Lindsey. Yes. So, girl, what kind of wedding are you picturing? Because every chick that gets engaged automatically has a wedding in their head. What is your dream wedding?
So we're actually doing a barn wedding. Yeah. So Chad actually, his barn burned down a couple of years ago and he is in the process of rebuilding it. It's huge. It's massive. It's going to be massive. And so my goal would be to get married actually in the barn when it goes up. And I'm really excited. Because I've never been married before. And everybody keeps saying, oh, Lindsey's been engaged. How many times has Lindsey been engaged? Twice.
Yes.
Twice. Number 2. And I asked the first time. So does that even really count?
No, I don't think it does when you ask.
Never got a ring.
No, I don't think that time counts at all. No.
Well, I've learned my lesson with Lindsey. If you just let her try something on, she might not ever take it off.
So what are we looking at? How far out for the wedding?
We're thinking May of next year, which that's just what me and Miley have talked about. We haven't put anything in stone yet, but Miley picked out the date May 2nd. She says because it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and the rainy season is past. So you argue with her logic there, actually.
And listen, that girl has a head on her shoulders, and I think you should listen to her.
Yeah, she's a smart kid.
Yeah, she's a really smart kid. So, unfortunately, Chad, did you realize that Love After Lockup has a crazy fan base and how crazy they can be?
Ma'am, I didn't even have a clue about any of this.
So you're getting a crash lesson, right?
You pretty much go to work and come home most days. Yes, this is a very crash lesson. I've already had more people contact me. It was pretty overwhelming.
What kind of things are they saying?
It's hard to hide a past, and I do have a past.
Right. Exactly.
And I guess that's what we're here to talk about a little bit.
Yes, we are. So, like everyone, Chad has a past. I mean, we all have some sort of skeletons in our closet. No one's perfect. And we're here to talk about an incident that happened back in 2007. Was it, Chad?
That's correct.
And you were 23 years old at the time, right?
I was 25.
Right. So, basically, there was a confrontation with a neighbor.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about more what happened?
Mr. David was probably, and like I said, I was 25 years old when this happened. I'd known the man 25 years. He was a good neighbor. Have no hard feelings whatsoever. And it's just something that bothers me every day.
Of
I was the kid that they called in the neighborhood to move their furniture out of their house and whatever. And he was 56 years old. And I'd just come back from Iraq. War was pretty tough.
yes,
And life's hard. Life's very hard. And, it's not easy to talk about it. I'll tell anybody that.
of course not.
You know, taking a life is something that nobody should take lightly. It's a beautiful spring day. I'll never forget that day. It was March the 12th of 2007, and I hadn't been home long. And another veteran wanted to take a car that I'd been building. Um, Worked in the auto body repair industry most of my life with my father. He had a body shop, and we'd rebuild in a race car, and we took it up the road on a Saturday afternoon, too fast, as young men should. Come back. We were speeding,
Right,
and thought that he ran out from his table, and he still had mayonnaise and stuff on his face, and he went just upset, very upset, ready to fight, cussing and all this stuff. And I was like, I thought that I really thought that he was coming to tell us something was wrong with the car
right,
because he was my friend. He was my neighbor for 25 years. Um, I'd never had a problem with him. Some of the other neighbors had, but me and him personally had gotten along. He was just irate about this speeding, wanted to fight, and I told him, I said, no, if you got a problem, call the police. He calls them. They don't come out because they know that I had a pretty good reputation. I never even had a speeding ticket.
right.
Um, Never been any kind of trouble with the law or anything. And I just home from Iraq and waited a couple of days, and he come to my property and jumped on me, took a swing, and I defended myself, hit him way too hard, and he gets on his Yamaha Rhino and turns to go home and falls dead. And they charged me with murder. But I didn't even know he was that hurt, injured, or I would have helped him that day.
Right.
And that's just the truth of the matter. Never would I, I'd taken lives in combat, but never would I thought that that day he would have lost his life. And it's a tragic situation.
It is. It's definitely sad that a petty situation turned into something like that. It was just a petty argument over noise.
Yes.
And how long did you wind up serving?
Well, I served 5 years.
Okay,
Yeah, right at 5 years.
right.
And that's a long story itself. Unfortunately, met a lot of good people, learned a lot. I just graduated Blue Mountain College. Shortly after, I was in Parchman, Mississippi, which is a pretty tough prison, state prison, probably one of the top 10 in America.
Wow.
But it was an experience of a lifetime. Forever changed my life.
So you guys both have that common ground also, being in the prison system and understanding how hard it is to be in the system. And once you were released after serving your 5 years, um, I could imagine how hard it was for you to integrate into society as not only coming out of prison, but being in the armed forces. And that's a whole nother thing in itself. You know what I mean? So my heart goes out to you and also the victim because it's just sad all around. You know what I
It was, it caused me to move from my hometown, make a way of life in a different town,
mean?
uh,
Right,
because I wanted to give the family a lot of respect. Really tried to be careful about, their feelings, especially, and me and the son, he had one son. His son showed up one day at my car lot,
okay,
just out of the blue, scared me to death. I actually thought he's probably coming to kill me.
right.
But he stuck his hand out and he shook my hand. He said, I just want you to know that no hard feelings. And we sat down and talked
Oh wow.
and talked for hours. Had jury members. I have 2 letters from 2 different jury members that wrote me letters, said the only reason they made the verdicts they got hungry.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Um, it's just, and it's very small town, very small town. And that's the reason I moved to and made a different way of life. And it was all through horses. Horses have got me where I am today. Went to riding horses for a family, and guy offered me a job, take care of his kids. I was giving riding lessons at a ranch. Uh, and that whole 5 years, all I dreamed about was getting out and training horses and working with kids.
Right.
Um, and then I built my dream barn, and it caught on fire, unfortunately, and lost it. 7 head of good horses, lost to 18-time world champion.
Oh no.
But adversity and setbacks is what you go through in life, and you just have to keep putting your foot forward every day.
Exactly. And it just makes you stronger.
Oh yes,
Adversity, setbacks, yeah, just make you stronger. So, Lindsay, what do you? And I'm sure both of you have seen all the comments. Okay. So, what do you say to those people that are like, okay, whatever, she's just using him. This is not going to last.
Well, I feel like that's going to be the initial reaction because people remember me in my very first season. You have to remember, I was a 26-year-old drug addict coming out of prison without a toothbrush. I'm now a 32-year-old, well-established, full-time mom. I work full-time. Like, I love you. I don't need his money because we're doing fine on our own. But I will say that since I met Chad, it's a lot easier to feel like I have a team member because
Right.
it was just me and Miley for so long. And Gilmore Girls is just a TV show. It's not reality.
Right. It's nice to have a significant other to lean on, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So,
Yeah. People are like saying I'm just using him. I'm like, I don't have to use him. I have like land and equity.
right.
I
Right.
was doing all right. We weren't hurting by any means.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, you were doing it all on your own.
There
So,
was a lot of hard days and nights, but I just graduated with my bachelor's. I just started my master's program. Here we go again. 2 more years. Woo.
yeah, I know.
Lindsay literally, I stay on the road a lot. And Lindsay will work 11 to 7 and come get in a truck with me and ride with me to Arkansas, help me buy cars, and that's she's a learning experience there. And then on the weekends we book events and venues with the Mechanical Bull, and we're up some, like last weekend I was judging,
Right.
and we got there at 12 o'clock, and I think the show ended at 12, and I look over there and she's helping tear down the Mechanical Bull. She's a hard worker, and she knows what it takes to make money and how hard it is, and just she pours her heart and soul into something. And I'm not worried about her taking a nickel off of me. She don't need it.
Okay. So, all relationships are not perfect, as we know. So, Chad, what is one thing that annoys the fuck out of you about Lindsay?
Oh, why are you turning red? No, no,
A dog.
no.
And I'm a dog lover, but this dog is trying my patience. I can train about everything in the world, but this Chihuahua, it is vindictive. She wants to pee exactly where my feet land in the mornings.
Oh my God. She's mad at you because now Lindsay is sharing her attention.
God
Yeah.
forbid she jumps in the bed and it's laying real still, and I just roll over or something, and I'm bit.
Actually.
So it's not even you, it's your dog that annoys the fuck out of him.
It's so funny because was it just the other day I came in and he was like having a conversation with her, like actually like nose to nose, like talking to her. Like, I need you to stop pissing on my floor. You got to stop pissing on the floor. And I was like, is she gonna respond? He said, maybe.
I train animals for a living. Emmy's
Yeah.
training patience.
Yes. I mean, He has a point there, Linz. You never know. Have a
She's
conversation.
spoiled. She's a little baby.
Of course, she's spoiled. Mommy spoiled her this whole time. All right, Linz, it's your turn. Is there anything that annoys you
It's
about?
kind of so it's funny. He's almost a germaphobe. Not quite,
Okay.
but really close, right? And so he's just so I have a small zoo. I have 3 cats, a dog, and a ferret.
Yes, she does.
My cats, I love my little babies, and they're inside outside cats. They live inside. And every time I tell him I'm gonna bring my 3 cats here, his face does this look right here. Do you see this look of fear? He's like, do you think we can keep them from upstairs? And I'm like, I can't keep them from going nowhere. That's why they're inside outside cats. They're fast.
Yeah, exactly. They just do whatever they want. Oh my God, that is so funny.
But
So,
he has a lot of I think we have the entirety of Alcorn County's feral cat population here at this ranch.
oh wow.
He feeds a massive amount of them. And they are not tame, but they're just tame enough that they'll maybe let you pet them for a second or two most of them.
Right.
And I'm just so afraid to bring my 3 cats here. My 3 cats are spoiled little babies. I don't think they know what another cat looks like. Okay. They live inside. They get soft food at the same time every evening. They have cat trees. They have little shelves decorated the house. Like, these cats have a way of life they're used to. And I just need to make him understand that we have to make sure that these kitties are used to that same life here at the ranch.
And Chad's like, okay, sure.
But what happened was I'm not even a cat person, but at the stables, the kids coming around taking lessons said, well, we need some cats. And then we got a pig, and then we had more stuff. And it's just, it's kind of turned into, and there's one thing about me, nothing goes hungry on the hill. They, up here on the Brimstone Ranch, nothing goes hungry. We feed everything, and that's, the neighbors and people tend to drop their cats off. And yeah, I have a lot of cats.
So we have Chad's cat sanctuary going on, basically.
Basically. I mean, it is insane. He'll just see them. They just roam the property. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
But they do the same thing with horses. When the stables are up and running, it's nothing to walk outside and have a horse tied out front. That's sport.
Tell them what Emmy did with Traveler.
Oh yeah,
Emmy. He said he's going to make Emmy a farm dog. This 10 pounds is always going to be a farm dog. And I said, I doubt it. She's a bit prissy. Doesn't even like to go outside when it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we have a pony in the backyard, and he's multiple world champion, and he's waiting on his stall to be built in the new stables. And in the meantime, he's laid down, and Emmy decided to just jump on his back. I thought that poor dog's fixing to get killed. How am I going to explain to Lindsey? Because she already knows I'm not real fond of the dog. I'm really fixing to get in some trouble now. But the dog made it through the fence. It ran to me like it was dying, and we saved the dog back in the crate. And Lindsey come home, and I really wasn't fond of telling her the story, but I had to because them cameras don't lie around here.
My puppy jumped on the horse's back. She wanted to ride.
You wanted a horsey ride.
Also, she keeps rolling in poop.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's literally has to have a bath like every day. She's at bath right now. That's why she's not in here.
Okay, Lindsay, I have to ask you, do you want kids?
So I'd always said that that I wasn't planning on having any because I got everything I wanted in Miley. But Chad has not had any of his own children. He adopted his 3 previous children from his last marriage. Okay. And so it is a definite possibility for the first time that I didn't think I would ever be saying again.
I know, because you have said before that you didn't think you wanted any more kids. So I have to ask you now, because we have Chad in the picture, and that sometimes changes things.
It has indeed changed things.
Oh God, you guys are cute.
We got a few names picked out.
He's picked out horrible names. Horrible names.
Tell me the names.
Bronco busting Booker.
I said, what if he don't want to ride bulls? What if he wants to be an accountant? Nobody wants to get their taxes done by Bronco.
And what if it's a girl?
You can name it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys are cute. Dad, you crack me up. Before I let you guys go, is there anything else that you want the fans out there to know?
I have a lot of people asking me because Chad has had a what would you like to call it? Dating advice?
Yes. Yes.
He has done dating advice for a while, and people have been asking me, like, were you talking to him when he was doing the dating advice? But here's the thing. I have put so many of my relationships out there for everybody to see. I always try to be super transparent, but I did want to have, I have leaned heavily away from that. Y'all know, because my last relationship I was pretty quiet about too, just because it's respectful of the person that I'm with until they decide if they're serious or not, whether they want to introduce all this. Because I don't think he was expecting an engagement to come along with an interview, but
definitely not. That usually doesn't happen.
But at least it got to a point where I knew he was serious enough to put himself out there with my name. So a lot of people said, like, why weren't you more public about it? Why weren't you talking about it? And it was to respect his privacy until he knew for sure that all of this was what he wanted.
Right. And
I told him from the get-go, just post what you normally post. Don't change anything.
Right.
And honestly, his dating advice was hilarious.
I just want to ask you, before I let you guys go, I just thought of one more question. Were you surprised by the proposal? Did it just like totally come out of the blue, or did you kind of suspect something was coming?
No, here's the thing. The very first night we met,
I told her I was going to marry her.
Okay.
So I was waiting on that day.
Oh, so you were already waiting. I've
been waiting since date one.
Yep, and you were going to hold it over his head if that day didn't come. So.
I'm pretty good at picking out a show pony.
That somebody else was saying that because they said, why is he calling her a show pony?
For that post.
Well, I got several young colts born out in the front pasture.
Right.
I usually pick out the best two, and then we drop down to the best one, and that's the horse of the year usually.
Right.
Won multiple world championships with horses and all different disciplines. And hey, she was one. She's just one in a million.
She's the show pony. Oh, you guys crack me up. You're too cute. We're gonna, Linz, you better keep me updated on wedding progress and
absolutely
with wedding planning. It was so nice to meet you, Chad.
Yes, ma'am. It's nice to meet you too.
You guys are welcome to come back in the future. Just
thanks, Mary.
Little updates and whatever. And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everyone in my live chat, and thank you for watching on the replay. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.